Hello, welcome to another edition of Chris Speaks. I'm your host, Chris Thompson. So, basically, what the United States is doing and is going to continue to do in Iran is a blitzkrieg. And it's not just a blitzkrieg, it's a blitzkrieg of all blitzkriegs. They're basically saying they're going to do what they want and they're not going to follow international law and they're not going to be um, they're not doing a politically correct war, and this is what um, Pete Hegseth said. And Pete Hegseth, if you don't know, isn't he like the Secretary of Defense? Yeah, he's the Secretary of Defense, and so hold on, so. This is what Pete Hegseth said. This was his speech about the attack on Iran, the Iran conflict, as I'm calling it right now. Okay. He said, the United States, regardless of what so-called international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history, he said. He went on to say, no stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives. And then, so that's what he's saying. He's saying worst in history, like more than the German bombings, aerial bombings of London back in World War II. So if what he's saying is true, that is what he's saying. So a reporter asked him, the American people also are concerned what they are sending their men and women to war for. Is there a concern of this spiraling into a longer war? Then determine when you're done. And his reply to her was, did you not hear my remarks? This is not the entire speech. This is just part of it. But, I mean, they keep telling us that we're bad if we call them Nazis, but what he's doing is literally like a Nazi move. He said so-called international, what was it? Institutions. Yeah, he's talking about institutions that are there to make sure that international law is carried out, and there are rules to war. They were made at the end of the end of World War II, and it was done because of what the Nazis did. So that's what the rules are for. That's what this is for. I won't read anything from it, but this is the Geneva Convention, humanitarian law. This isn't all of it, but this is a big chunk of international law when it comes to, sorry, I have to get things here and there. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so they might as well just set that book on fire, and they might as well set the Constitution on fire, and they're basically, this is my prediction. They're gonna start this. What they're doing in the Middle East is gonna get to the point that our allies are gonna become our enemies, and then basically it's probably just gonna be us and Saudi Arabia and Israel and probably England against the rest of the world. I mean, that's what I mean. If they actually, the people who are supposed to carry out that law, if they're serious about it, the United States at some point is going to become an enemy. I see this as becoming the new Axis powers, and I hope not. But the guy basically says, we're not going to follow the rules, we're going to do anything and everything we want in this war. And it makes it seem as though they're planning to kill every single buddy in Iran, every single person in Iran. Why do you, probably other places in the Middle East, why do you think they're having everybody, all Americans, leave the Middle East? It would have been nice to tell them. Well, I guess you couldn't tell them ahead of time because then that would alert the people your target, right? So, what are we doing? We've got a president that surely has dementia, who's in charge of calling all the shots in a war. You have an incompetent Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War nowadays. Oh, remember? And they said, oh, it's no big deal. And remember when they were trying to basically put what was it? Oh yeah, put some Democratic senators in prison because they reminded the soldiers that it's their duty to not follow illegal orders. This is why they tried to put them in jail, because they were going to give them a bunch of illegal orders. And this is what happens when you make a guy president who's a megalomaniac, who doesn't care about anybody or anything, and to the point that he appoints nothing but idiots around him, with idiots to important jobs, and then you think the world's not going to explode. I mean, this is crazy. It's time. We need to vote. We need to vote these people out of power. And we're going to do that in the midterms. And if we don't do it in the midterms, then I don't know. Like, maybe we won't. But if we do, if the Democrats get a majority, it's time to arrest these people. It's time to find them guilty of treason and whatever. So it's going to be like the new, whatchamacallit, oh, come on. The Nuremberg. It's going to be the new Nuremberg trials. Problem is, it looks like, I don't know, man. So is like the United States going to conquer the world now? I don't understand what's going on. And I was hoping that maybe it was like AI or something, but it's on the real news. It's on things. This is insane, and it's scary to be part of this country right now. In this country, be a citizen of this country, when I look at something and it seems like my country is becoming the bad guys. And I don't know, like, why? We're supposed to be the good guys, right? And there's another element to this. Okay, so I'm a veteran. I've never been in a war, but I don't want any people who are in the military to have to go to war unnecessarily. And this is an unnecessary war and an unjust war, and they keep changing it, and they keep lying to us. They said it was regime change, and now they're saying, no, it's not regime change. And then they were saying, no boots on the ground, like yesterday or the day before, and now they're like, yeah, we're not going to rule out boots on the ground. But you just said. They keep changing. They don't even know what they're doing. I don't think they do. I think they know what they're doing. This is bad for everyone. This is bad for the Middle East. This is bad for us. This is bad for our relations with our allies. And bet you Trump cozies up to his favorite dictators again. Probably will offer them a piece of the cake. I'm ashamed today to be a citizen of this country and a person who is a veteran, because this is not what our country was meant for. These are not following constitutional laws or international laws. And this is it's a slap in the face to the American people. It is. we're sliding into fascism so fast, but then we're told, don't you dare call us fascists. Don't you dare call ICE Gestapo. Well, what do you think they're gonna do? What are they gonna round up people that disagree with them and say, well, we don't cling to the past, so we're not gonna follow the Constitution and everything that the rules that were set forth to govern this country. They're they're basically pissing all over the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, for that matter. And it's like, this is not the country I grew up in. This is not the country that I served. And I don't understand why this is happening in our country. I really don't. And I don't want people to have to die for an unjust war. Not only that, they need to not carry out the damn orders. Seriously, these are illegal orders. These are illegal orders that are being given to them, and this is exactly why they were trying to go after Senator Kelly. That's funny. It's funny because Senator Kelly, if you don't know, if you're not a comic book nerd, Senator Kelly is like a evil politician in the X-Men universe. Like X-Men, the X-Men, like the movies? Yeah. Okay, so it's just weird. This is weird. Like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing when I heard this guy speak. It's like, I'm like, surely it's gotta be AI. But sorry, guys, you gotta check it out because there's a lot more to the speech than this. This is creepy, and anybody who knows anything about history, this is really bad. This is a really low time in the history of this nation, this once proud nation, this one nation that at one time not only helped come up with the rules and regulations of war, but were okay with enforcing them. And it's gotten to the point where not only have we gone far away from what the founding fathers believed, we're going like further away from what people believed after World War II, that they believed that these rules of war were necessary to keep stuff like that from happening again. And our politicians are basically saying they're not going to follow the rules of war and they're just going to do whatever they want. And that's not how it works. That's not how this country works. They are not our leaders. They are our servants. The government was not meant to rule over us, but to be ruled by us. We are their bosses, and it's time to vote the wrong people out of office. It's time to stop this. They come on. There's the government, the people who are parts of the government that are supposed to do checks and balances. They need to start doing some checking and balancing before this gets completely and totally out of hand. This war it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, we're spreading the whole region of the Middle East, like maybe not the whole part of it, but a big chunk of it. And what happens when that starts going other places? Is this finally Israel's chance to do what they've been wanting to do for like probably decades? They want to create the greater Israel. So you can look this up on the patches of the Israeli soldiers. There's a thing that says Greater Israel, and if you look at it and you put it over the map, it's the majority of the Middle East. So, like, this is crazy. This is like, I think it really sounds like World War III is about to start, and I hope not. I freaking hope not. But if anybody who knows a lot about history, about American history, will realize what they're doing goes against everything that we believe in as a nation. Goes against every reason. The whole point of the United States was to be a just nation. It was not to go start wars because we felt like it or because our allies felt like it. And just say, nope, we're just not gonna deal with the crazy the rules of the past, and we're gonna this is a yeah, I'm waiting to hear this is a new dawn in America, because somebody said that. I don't know if it was like the Nazis or if it was the fascists in Italy, but there was something, they didn't say the exact same thing, but it's paraphrasing it. This, if I hear something like that, I'm really gonna freak. I mean, not for real. I'm just gonna be like, I'm just sitting here in disbelief, because I just can't believe what the Secretary of Defense, oh excuse me, the Secretary of War just said. He just said that the United States military and government is not going to follow any of the rules of war, and they're not going to listen to international, what did they call it, institutions. So, so what is the rest of the United Nations going to turn on us at some point? Because the whole reason the United Nations was created was to make sure that international law was abided by. And basically, yeah, you know exactly what he's saying when he said so-called international institutions. He's talking about the UN. And he's talking about the different courts of the UN. And he's basically saying, we're not going to listen to him, we're going to do what we want. And that's crazy. The United States, they can't do what they want. They have to follow the rules. They have to follow the law. Nobody is above the law. Not even the government. Not even the military. Nobody. Not even Donald Trump. Nobody is above the law. And it's time for the people in our government that haven't swallowed the poison pill here to let them know that there's checks and balances and they can't just do what they want. This is the United States. We are not the bad guys, so stop trying to make us the bad guys, you weirdos. Who put... I mean, we put a guy in there who surrounded himself with idiots that don't know anything about what they've been put there for, like Kennedy's the head of health or whatever, and nothing he says is anything about health. He knows nothing, and I know a little bit about it. I know enough to know that Kennedy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and neither of these other guys do, because I was a medic, not for a very long time, but I was in the military, so I have some medical training, and all the stuff that guy's saying is a bunch of bullshit. He's weird, and he talks at a thing like this, and I think he does have a brainworm. Well, anyways, we're being led by politicians that are too stupid to realize what they're about to get us into by waging this ridiculous war.